ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः. We are in the section that is talking about the specificities of the dream state. What happens during dream? And as I said, there are about 5 verses, I think from 75 to 80 or 81, that talk about this. And there are certain reasons why the dream state is being revisited here. So the first reason is because to understand that the primary reason is to understand uh, the fact that all the things that are experienced in the dream are internal. They have nothing to do with what is going on outside, as we will see in the examples. The person kicks, cries, laughs like a mad person, and goes through the gamut, an entire gamut of emotions, without there being anything real, empirically speaking, in terms of the everyday reality. There's nothing that is there. Nothing in the person's everyday reality corresponds to what is seen in the dream many times. That's why one has weird and strange dreams which have nothing to do with the waking state. So this shows that all the emotions, especially difficult emotions such as sorrow and fear, they have their basis in the samskaras. What is samskara? Samskar or the other, okay, from the past. some kind of a some kind of a painful experience, or for that matter, even a pleasant experience. It doesn't always have to be painful. Samskaras can be both, which are the result of raga dvesha, which are the result of papa punya, all these things. So the thing is that same thing is being revisited in the dream. Yet one more time, it is being revisited in the dream. This is what the idea is. So the main purpose of visiting this dream state again and doing an analysis of the dream state exclusively and in detail is to show that this is just a mind creation, one's own personal creation, based on the ragadveshas. Samskara is a polite word for ragadveshas, remembered ragadveshas, or even if the ragadveshas are not remembered, their effects of some kind of impressions that the ragadveshas have left behind. And so here, this is something very fascinating. So then in the waking state, which this means that if the one has done a proper dream analysis, then in the waking state, there is nothing to complain about. Oh, that's not nice. See, that's a complaint. Okay, so we have to stop that. That's not nice. And now you're complaining about not being able to complain. This is exactly why we are studying this whole section in detail. So, what is going on here? In the waking state, the one is so focused outwardly that one starts to believe that the difficulties in the waking state are due to the people around me. That is why I'm having difficulties. If you were not there on the planet, my life would go very, 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 very well. And because you are there, coexisting on the planet, I have fewer resources because you are always in competition. And because you are there on the planet, I am in a bad mood. I can't get as far as possible away from you. I can't put enough distance between you and me. But then again, I am dysfunctionally tied to you because of so many connections, parental connection, marriage connection, so many things are there. Some, friendship connection, all these things. So it's this push, pull, can't leave, can't stay, this kind of a situation. And then it is very easy to blame the universe. So first target of blame are all the jivas in the universe. They get a bashing from who? From the person who is complaining. It's because of that person. And then sometimes the jivas are singularly targeted, especially close people close to oneself who can get under the skin are individually targeted, and sometimes they are collectively targeted. Like in politics, one wishes that their own party should win at any cost. So then all the people who are voting for the other party that is also, they're standing for the election are idiots. And how can they vote for this person? What's wrong with them? And so this is all this collective angst based on all the people who, this is groups of people. You don't like groups of people because you think that their views, constrain your views. Each political party thinks that the other people are idiots. They are stupid to vote for this party or this candidate. And what's wrong with them? How to make them come on our side? This is what this is the raw material of samsara. And then the opponents also think the same thing. How can anybody vote for this? But still people are voting for both the candidates somehow. And then of course the election night, it's a nail biter because nobody is ahead, nobody is behind, everybody, it's a neck and neck, that kind of a situation. So one's ire is targeted against individual jivas or collectivities of jivas. How can people malign the planet like this? How can they mistreat the planet? Look at all these plastics. How are they throwing this and getting away with this? No civic sense, no morality, no ethics. So here the ire is targeted against groups of people who are not subscribing to the right kind of thoughts as you, who don't have the same kind of practices as you, who are not on the same wavelength as you. Then the ire is targeted against the jagat. So one is angry at the jagat. Why is it like this? But why? Why should there be climate change? Why should there be this? Why should there be that? One is angry at the Jagat. It is not going my way. It is not at all going my way because I am not happy living in this Jagat. Go look for an alternative Jagat. And the people are already doing that, looking for another planet to migrate to if this one gives up on us. The search is on. That's why that telescope, Hubble, keeps on looking for some Goldilocks planets just a few light years away. Only thing is, by the time you get there, you need to check into a senior center because it will take so many years to get there. Okay, that is if you make it. All right. But still, that doesn't deter people from looking for these planets that are warm enough to sustain life, and then that are not too hot, not too cold. And then they find all these planets and they write about it so that people get some hope. So Kepler something, and there'll be a number at the end of it. And then, oh, it is so many light years away. And then it has this kind of a mass. And then it has two suns, which is good. Why? Because if one sun gives out, the other sun will be there. So like this, there is, the search is on, because one is sick and tired of this jagat, and then one is sick and tired of this particular planet. Jagat includes everything, of course, but I'm just using it loosely. So one is sick and tired of this particular articulation of my jagat in the form of this planet, and one wants to, and one is scared, one is sick of it, and at the same time one is scared. What if something happens to it? Where will I go? What will happen? I need to go immediately. That's why all the billionaires, they don't know how to spend money anymore, so they are going into space and coming back. So that is how the discontent towards the place of residence, this planet, is directed. And then what? Then there is anger against one's own karma. Why me? Why are these things happening to me? Why can't they happen to somebody else? Why me all the time? So there is anger against one's own karma. Then we have anger against Bhagavan, the giver of the laws of karma. Also, there is great anger. Why should Ishvara be like this? And why should Ishvara be targeting me like this? And so this is the whole gamut of how in the waking state one keeps going from one thing to another, pointing to everything as a source of discontent, as a source of anger. And of course, as you're doing the pointing, you get a few people to agree with you. Then you start a support group. This is for justice. This is for this. Some support group, some activist group, some just social justice group. And so you want to do all this, and all that is based on what? All that is based on your discontent and dis-ease with what is. That is what it is. Dis-ease with what is. Then, if all those areas of complaints are exhausted, then one starts to think, it must be me. Everybody else seems to be okay. It's me. Something is wrong with me. I'm too reactive. I'm too defensive. I don't have enough of this, that, or the other. I'm wrong. I am, I am an idiot. This is so one is happily blaming other people and unhappily blaming oneself. And the analysis of the dream state is for many things, is used in many different ways. The analysis of the dream state is first used to show that this state is you, but you are not this state, and all the things that you see in this state is not are not really are manufactured by you. They do not have an empirical reality. And then that you alone pervade the dream state, and when you wake up and you tell me your dream, you are pervading the waking state as well. And so that all pervasive I, to arrive at this all pervasive I, the dream state is an important part of this avasthatraya prakriya, the pedagogy for the analysis of the threefold states, the pedagogy of this analysis for the threefold state. Then the other way in which the dream state becomes useful to us is to illustrate abhinna nimitta upadana karanatvam. How Bhagavan creates. Bhagavan does not create the Jagat and abandon it and go away. In fact, the whole creation is nothing but Bhagavan. And how is that evident? Just like in the dream state. And we'll be seeing all this. In the dream states, you think of a big mansion. Mansion is there. Then you say, that doesn't make sense. How am I going to clean this whole mansion? then suddenly domestic help is there. Then you say, oh, but I want this, that, and everything. I want this, that, and everything, all these things. And then then this is the I want this, I want that, I want to go here, I want to go there. All these desires, all these desires. Now, these desires are what? They are the ones that are creating this dream jagat. And just like Bhagavan, you pervade the dream jagat entirely. Every single object in the dream, whether it is animate or inanimate, sentient, insentient, moving, unmoving, all of them are just you. And just like this whole Bhagavan, whatever is created in this Jagat is non-separate from Bhagavan. Bhagavan has as though entered. Bhagavan means that conscious presence in the form of Bhagavan has entered each and every Nama, Rupa, each and every aspect of creation. And so this is what is Abhinna Nimitta Upadana Karanam. Nimitta Karanam, that intelligence behind the creation, the creator, and then upadana, that is nimitta karana, and then upadana karanam. Upadana is the raw material. So the twofold cause of creation is non-separate from the creator. Same thing in the dream. Abhinna nimitta upadana karanam. So your own memory, your own desire, your own buddhi creates a universe. And where is the raw material for the dream? From that same consciousness, the raw material is also borrowed, is created out of nothing other than Swayam Jyotihi. All this will be seen. Out of nothing other than that self-effulgent I, this entire dream jagat is created. So this is another reason how, this is another way in which the dream state is an important example to be able to understand all these things. Very important. And the third way in which the dream state becomes important, as I said already, is to lay bare the mistake, to lay bare the mistake. What is the mistake? The mistake is that the world is the cause of my sorrow. Why only focus on sorrow? The world is the cause of my joy. The world is the cause of my sorrow. If these conditions are met, then I am happy. If these conditions are not met, I am terribly unhappy. One is convinced of this so much. One is convinced of it so much. And if one is totally convinced of it so much, that means that it is difficult to remove. So if you tell somebody who is suffering greatly in their life, oh, this is nothing to do with the present situation. Look for the triggers in the past. They will make a repast of you and your ideas. That's what they will do. They will have no interest in looking at anything there at all. They will have no interest because they are convinced. This is why I'm grieving. This is why I'm angry. This is why I'm upset. This is why I don't want this. This is what the whole thing is. And so therefore what? So therefore the entire uh, analysis of the dream is to show that in the dream, you are the one who is grieving. You are the one who is grieving. You are the one who is upset. You are the one who is annoyed. You are the one who is in pain, in sorrow. You are the one alternating between ecstasy and agony. So, who is that? It's just you, alternating between ecstasy and agony. Then what? This is the problem. Because then in the waking state, therefore, you cannot blame anybody, including yourself, for all the difficulties that you endure and encounter. Why? Because in the dream state, when there is no other, there is nothing other than you still manage to get sad, angry, upset, without any help from the Jagat. The body is, as we saw in the previous verse, lying as though it is, it is dead. It is dead to the world. There is no world in the dream. There are no janaha, no people in the dream to press you and rub you the wrong way. There are no situations in the dream other than you to create any problems, to deny you a job, to deny you food, drink, nothing. But still, you manage to feel hungry and ignored. You've managed to feel like like you're not being treated well. That means what? That means the triggers for the sorrow and the pain are from the wellspring of the past, which is what? With you. So, these are old samskaras, old samskaras, which have to be neutralized. And so, verses like these neutralize these samskaras completely. They are there to show, to lay bare the fact that there is nothing other than me that is causing the sorrow. Oh, so I must be bad because I'm creating sorrow for myself. No, you are not creating sorrow. You're just confused. That's all. So sorrow comes how? Sorrow comes because I am reacting to a particular situation that is free of all sorrow. No, how can you say the earthquake is free of all sorrow? Earthquake is, the earth trembling. That's all it is. But so much death. We have put a premium on death because we don't understand death. That is what we are studying in the Bhagavad Gita now. We don't understand death, so we are putting a particular ashobhana adhyasa, a kind of a negative projection on death. Oh, that's bad. This is good. This is good. Shobhana adhyasa. This is bad. Ashobhana adhyasa. So this is ashobhana, meaning that is negative projection. So those projections, the raw material for the projection is one's own antahkarana. So the analysis of the dream state, it is hoped, will bring some clarity and objectivity to the waking state. We are not interested in the dream. We are not interested in what you saw and what might that mean. That would be a psychological analysis. That is the realm of Carl Jung and all these other psychologists who look at the dream as informative of certain triggers, etc. You can do that. You're welcome to do that. But the Upanishad here, and the Satasloki, which is quoting the Upanishad, the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad here is not interested in the content of your dream. That's not important. But is interested to establish how this internal world of humans, people, situations, and objects of desire is what is the one that is all the time being is the one that is all the time is the one that is all the time being reproduced in the waking state. That is the one that is all the time being reproduced in the waking state. This is exactly why one has to analyze the dream state so that one gets some clarity and objectivity and stops blaming oneself and others. This is what it is. So, with these words, let us see what the text has to offer. First of all, the verses 75 to 81 correspond to a large swath of mantras in the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, whose what is that? 439 to 4315. This is the citation. Brihadaranyaka, fourth Brahmana, a third subchapter, and then in that mantras 9 to 15. Okay, yeah. So let us, what happened to the text now? Let us see. Yeah, here we are. So we saw 77, I think, and we were about to see, we saw the meanings of the meaning of 78. And maybe there is a little more to say. Let us see. Sandhau Jagrit Sushuptyoho Anubhava Vidita Swapni Avastha Dvitiya. Swapni Avastha Dvitiya. The second state after waking is dream, after sleeping is dream. And in this dream, Tatra Atmajyotihi Aste Purushaha Iha Samakrishya Sarvendriyani. So, what powers the dream state, we are told at the outset here, is Atmajyoti, the light of consciousness, that awareness of I am, that awareness alone blesses, upholds the dream state. That's all that there is. There is nothing else. Because there are no items there to be that migrate from the waking state to the dream state. They're not, that's not really happen. Why? Because Purusha Iha Samakrishya Sarvendriyani, because the person that we are talking about here, Samakrishya Sarvendriyani, Samveshya Sthula Deham Samuchita Shayane, Sviya Bhasantaratma Pashyan. So the person that we are talking about is not active at all. Samakrishya Sarvendriyani, having withdrawn all the sense organs and organs of action. Samveshya, Niveshya, keeping what? So keeping nicely, Sthula Deham, the physical body. Samuchita Shayane, on a appropriate, soft, nice bed. Sviya bhasantaratma pashyan. So, Sviya bhasa, through one's own presence, through that presence, which is what in the state of ardha vikasa, which is not fully there. I mean, the light of Atma is there, but it is manifest, half manifest, as it were, because all the indriyas have gone to sleep, so it is not fully manifest. So in that place, sviya bhasa antaratma, sviya bhasa, through one's own light, through one's own presence. Then pashyan, seeing what? Samskara rupan abhimata vishayan yati kutrapi tadvat. So even though the physical body is lying lifeless, as it were, on the bed, then what happens? Through this awareness, through the strength of one's presence alone, that which makes you say, I am. When I ask the question, are you here? Through the strength of that Satchidananda presence alone, solely through that, then one recreates samskara rupan abhimata vishayan. So things that are things either which haven't been resolved or things that one wants to revel in, one creates vishayani, and with the help of these objects, yati kutrapi tadvat. So even though the body is on the shayana, is on the bed, lifelessly on the bed, then what? Then the body is lifelessly on the bed, and then the Atma, as it were, is extremely active. And so it creates a subtle body and of a dream body. You give yourself a dream body. And what are you doing? Kayaking, river rafting. Where is the river? You. You have created the river. Where is the kayak? You have created the kayak. And where are the oars? You. And who is sitting in this boat? You. Everything is you. And then so the body is lifeless on the bed, and you have gone kayaking, even though you live in a place which has not even a puddle of water, and but still you are kayaking on this body of water. How is this possible? Because they are all samskara jatan. Samskara means memories, desires, wishes, unfulfilled and unfulfillable also. Such wishes are one entertains. And then where is the outlet for them? The outlet is just the safe dream state. Okay, so that is verse number. So we'll migrate between these verses and the Brihadaranyaka Vakya also, so you can see how they correspond. So the next one, it says, Rakshan pranaihi kulayam nijasayanagatam shwasamatra मा भूत प्रेत कल्पाकृतिम इति पुनः सारमेयादि भक्ष्यम स्वप्ने स्वीय प्रभावात् सृजति हयरथा निम्नगाः पल्वलानि क्रीडास्थानानि अनेकानि अपि सुहृद अबला पुत्रमित्रानुकारान्. Very beautiful, very nice. So, Rakshan Pranaihi, preserving the pranas. And preserving the pranas, which are what? Which are reduced to just the life force, the respiration, which is available in the form of respiration alone, which is, in the form of respiration. Then preserving the body, and then now which is reduced to just the breathing, and then what? Nija Shayana Gatam. Where is this body? On one's own bed. Nija Shayana Gatam. Shwasamatra Avasheshaihi. Just subsisting on the breath. And then Mabhut. Why is it subsisting on the breath? Why doesn't the breathing also stop in sleep? There is a very ingenious reason given. Mabhut, let it not be so. Let what not be so? Preta kalpa kritim, preta kalpa kritikam iti. So there are two reasons given why it is the body is as though dead but not quite dead. It is hanging on with the help of prana. How? Why? Well, there are two reasons given. So both of them start with Mahabhut. May it not be so. What is the may it not be so? Number one, Preta Kalpa Kritikam iti. May I not wake up and find myself disembodied. I went to sleep, and then now when I went to sleep, I was Nija Shayana Gata. I was on the bed, securely on the bed. And then when I woke up, I was hanging above the bed. In the preta form, in a ghostly form, I was hanging above the bed, hovering above the bed, asking myself certain important questions. How did I come here? Am I dead? Etc. And then I just try to catch the body on the bed, and it's like catching air. There seems to be no connection between me and what I'm seeing. Ma bhoot iti. May that not happen ever. Please, please, please. And then the second thing, what else may it not happen? And then the dead body itself, the body, if it is dead in sleep, then sarameyadi bhakshyam ma bhoot. What is this Sarameya? Sarameya is the offspring of Sarama. Sarama was the first celestial female dog. Sarameya means all the dogs that have come. Sarama, very interesting story. And Sarama had 4 puppies, and they were all very, very cute. And the puppies, they said, can we go and attend this yajna? The puppies said. And so the mother dog said, Yes, but you have to be very good puppies. You have to be extremely well behaved. You cannot misbehave. And on no account, first of all, you should not go and disturb the place where the yajna is being made. Rule number one, do not go lick the ghee, and then in the pot especially. If it is fallen on the floor, you can lick it, but don't eat the ghee which is in the pot. Rule number one, she made some rules. Then, rule number two, please do not. Please do not, that naivedya, which is that ahuti, which is going to be offered in the fire, do not disturb it, she told the puppies. And then this is some story, and then very nice story. And then and then she gave them a few other rules. Do not jump at people, do not bark, do not growl, do not bare your teeth. And so saying, all the four puppies happily gamboled off to attend this yajna. And they were all wide eyed. Oh, so many people, so many things. Oh, what is here? So many new smells. Let me smell this. Let me sniff this. Oh, what is happening? How wonderful. And then what happened? The Yajamana, the host that was offering this yajna, got very angry and wild at the puppies, even though they were not breaking any rules. And he told his paricharakas, his sevaks, to give them a nice thrashing. And so they went squealing and licking their wounds to the mother. When the mother asked them, tell me the truth. What have you done over here? Did you lick the ghee in the pot? No, mother, no. We didn't lick the ghee in the pot. We did not disturb the yajna place. We did not even look alone at the Naivedya. We did not even sniff or smell the Naivedya. We did not do anything. We were just walking around and happy. There were so many new things to explore. And she was so angry. So she went there and she said, this yajna cannot be completed. My children need justice. All the Sarameyas, these four puppies. And she asked the whole Sabha, the gathered people, she asked, did my children disturb the yajna? Everybody said no. Did my children eat the ghee? No. Did my children put their mouth in or their nose in the naivedya, the offering, ahuti? No. Did my children do any other things that they should have not done? No. Then why were they thrashed? Well, we are not used to dogs in the yajna. Well, that seems that's like a very dogged way to be, she said. That's very dogmatic of you to have this opinion. How can you do this? So then Sarma receives a public apology from all the people in the yajna, and the puppies are allowed to stay there and enjoy the yajna after that, and after that only the yajna is completed. Okay, so Sarameya means all the parampara of Sarma, all the dogs, every single breed, the ugly dog, the good looking dog, all these things. So why are we talking of Sarameya? Here it says Sarameyadi Bhakshyam Ma Bhoot. So this body lying on the bed, if it is dead, then what would happen? It would become potential dog food. And may that not happen. May that not happen. May the dog food not happen. May I not become, may my body not become dog food. Therefore, there is a whiff of a prana. The air goes in the nostrils and comes out, enough to ward off the body becoming dog food, maggot food, all these things for all the beings. Okay, then that's the first two lines. Then next one, swapne sviya prabhavat srijati. In the dream, this person who has assured that they will not become a ghost and not be dog food, that's how they are able to go to sleep, because Bhagavan's assurance is there that if you sleep almost all the time, you will wake up. And then if you don't, that's a very good way to go. Wonderful. You sleep and then you don't get up. You sleep and then you don't get up at all. You know. And then this is, then I'm just remembering something, but I'll not get into that story right now, because otherwise we'll go all over the place. So, Sviya Prabhavat Srijati. So, having assured of a timely return back to this body, which one is familiar with, then what happens? Sviya Prabhavat, through one's own knowledge, through one's own memory, through one's own presence, Srijati creates what? Hayaha. Haya means horses, Rathaha, chariots, Nimnagaha. Very nice word for river, Nimnagaha, Nimna means low. So any kind of a flowing body of water is called Nimnagaha, because water flows from up to down. It will not go up unless, of course, you have a pump attached. So Nimnagaha. So all these flowing bodies of water, and then rivers, etc. Then Palvalani. Palvalani are small streams that you can just wade and cross, not very deep, shallow streams that you can just play, have a picnic near it, all these things. So the person creates horses and chariots, and then flowing bodies of water, lakes, etc. And what are these creations? Kridasthanani anekani. They are fields of play. Kridasthana. They are places to have fun. Nobody is interested in horses and chariots. Horses and chariots become very exciting. You know why? Because I can ride the chariot. I can wave to the people like the Queen of England during the Platinum Jubilee. Actually, she was not in the chariot at all. There was a hologram of her when she was young and waving. This is called the Queen's wave. All the rest of the lowly mortals wave this way, but the Queen has a special wave. She goes like this, and so there was this. She was sitting in the chariot. That is kind of a dreamlike experience right there, because it was a hologram. So the chariots are no fun unless you can ride in them. And riding in them is no fun unless there's a whole group of people applauding and, saying, Jai Ho, long live, victory to you. So all this is created in the dream. So these Haya, Ratha, and these horses, rivers, chariots, and bodies of water are places for the jiva to play. Where? In the dream. Why bodies of water are mentioned twice? Because the person lives in a landlocked state. Okay, so there is there is no water there for miles around, or the person lives in a desert. Like Arizona. So to find water, you have to go, any body of water, difficult, because the terrain is such. So in the dream, one can enjoy the various bodies of water, and they become Kridasthanani Anekani. And then what do you do? See, it's no fun being alone. You are at a beautiful place and you're there all by yourself. So boring. Therefore, you have to create Suhrit, friend. You have to create a friend or a whole host of friends to enjoy these places which you have first created along with you. Abala, not a nice word for woman, but there you go. It's an ancient text, okay? Abala. Abala means the balam na vidyate, yasya, for whom the strengthless one, the weak one. Who is that? The female sex is being talked about here. Terrible, but this is how it is, and don't take it personally. That's all we can say. It's an ancient text, so just let it go. So Suhrit, Abala, Putra, children. Suhrit means a special friend, BFF, best friend forever, the one who is always your well-wisher under all circumstances. Abala, women, and then what? Putra, children, Mitra, all other friends. And then Anukaran. Anukaran Srijati. This Anukaran goes, Srijati. It goes along with Srijati. Anukaran means According to what? That is not specified. But we have to understand according to the memories of the waking state, in accordance with the memories of the waking state, in accordance with the unfulfilled and or unfulfillable desires of the waking state, the materials of enjoyment in the dream state and people, various kinds of people to enjoy with in the dream state, are all created. Now, with let's see which verses which mantras these verses correspond to in the Brihadaranyaka. Let us see. So this is number 9. 439, okay? Yeah. Tasya va etasya purushasya. For this person, dve sthane bhavatah. It's almost like there are two planes of existence. And this we have seen. One plane of existence is the body lying, supine on the bed, as though dead on the bed, but very much alive. Okay, and then the other one is that internal sthana, the sthana of the sthana of the dream state, and so this is what it is. And so the Upanishad explains, idam cha paralokasthanam cha sandhyam. So between this state here and the sleep state, what is there? Pritiyam swapnasthanam. There is in between a dream state. Tasmin sandhye sthane tishthan. Living on the brink of these two states, then ubhe sthane pashyati. The person is able to the person is able to straddle both. Idam cha paralokam sthanam cha अथ अथ यथा क्रमः अयं परलोकस्थाने भवति तम आक्रमम् आक्रम्य उभयन् पाप्मना आनन्दांश्च पश्यति स यत्र प्रस्वपति अस्य लोकस्य सर्वावतो मात्राम् अपादाय स्वयं विहत्य स्वयं निर्माय स्वेन भासा स्वेन ज्योतिषा प्रस्वपिति अत्रायं पुरुषः स्वयं ज्योतिर्भवति. Very beautiful. So just to summarize it, because everything is not relevant and it goes into great detail. So it is something like a midway between this world and the other world, he says. And then he means Yagyamalkya. So in the condition of the dream, what happens? The mind experiences certain consequences of its feelings, of its actions in the form of punya and papa. In the form of punya and papa. It is conscious of the imagined objects, and then there is an activity which are conjured up through the activity of the mind. And then, but if this state were to continue all the time, then it would be no different than death. But this does not take place. The dream state is of a short duration, and so either there is that either the mind either one comes back to the body and wakes up, or one comes back to the body and goes to sleep, goes into a deep sleep. So then what happens? Svena bhasa svena jyotisha prasvapiti. And then what is there? Svena bhasa means one's own light. That awareness which says, I am in the waking state, that awareness alone roams around in the dream state. And then all the vasanas, starting with the strongest memory and the strongest impression, and going through all the weaker ones, get released in the dream at the allotted time. And then one only relies on one's own Swayam Jyoti. There is nothing else. There is really that self-luminous Atma, the self-effulgent I alone is holding up the entire dream. And so there is nothing else. There is no other situation. There is no other material. And this is talked about very nicely in the next mantra. Na tatra rathaha. Mantra means Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. Na tatra rathaha, na tatra yogaha, na panthano bhavanti. Atha rathan rathayogan pathaha srijate. Na tatra आनन्दाः मुदः प्रमुदो भवति. अथ आनन्दान् मुदः प्रमुदः सृजते. न तत्र वेशान्ताः पुष्करिण्याः स्रवन्त्यः भवन्ति. अथ वेशान्तान् पुष्करिणीः स्रवन्तीः सृजते. सहि karta. This is exactly what we have been studying. Na tatra, tatra means yat kutra, in the dream state. Na tatra rathaha, no chariots in the dream state. And if you think who is going to, who is going to dream of chariots, replace it with, what should I say, Rolls Royce, BMW and all these expensive cars. Then you will get the idea. Okay. Yeah. So, na tatra rathaha. No chariots, no vehicles. Na tatra ratha yogaha. And then yogaha means that which is connected to the chariot. What is connected to the chariot? Horses, of course. So no horses and no bullocks, whatever it is, any kind of animals are not propelling the chariot. And then where should the chariot move? On the road, of course. Where is the road? Na panthano bhavanti. No roads. There are no roads. And atha, therefore, what does the person do? Rathan, rathayogan, patah, srijate. The person manufactures the horses, manufactures the chariots, and then manufactures the roads on which the chariot flies. So that same light of consciousness, that self-luminous light that lights up everything, then what happens to that? That happens to take on the form, as it were. That, as it were, morphs into the chariot. It, quote unquote, becomes the chariot without really becoming anything other than itself. It morphs, it appears as the chariot without undergoing any change. Then it appears. I can't even use the word then, even though we say atha, then thereafter. No, there is no thereafter. Simultaneously, it manifests as the drawer of the chariot, the horses, etc., without really becoming into the horse. And it doesn't say, oh, now I'm the chariot, now I have to be the horse. Oh, so stressful. No such thing. Because it is ananta, limitless, all pervasive. It's not stuck in one place. So that when it, quote unquote, becomes the chariot, when the self-effulgent Atma manifests as the chariot, it cannot manifest again in the same way as the Ratha Yoga, as that which pulls the chariot. No such problem. No such stress. And then what else? For some reason, there is bodies of water are very attractive. So then there is lot of bodies of water. What are they? Veshantaha, some kind of pond. Pushkarinyaha, another kind of pond. So the ponds and streams and rivers don't flow. Nasravantyaha. Then, atha, therefore, what? Veshantan pushkarinihi sravantihi srijate. So there are no rivers, no ponds, no lakes. But in the dream, these rivers, ponds and lakes are created how? In conjunction with one's desires and memories. Then, in the dream state is also totally devoid of both things. What is it devoid of? It is devoid of various ananda and it is devoid of sorrow as well. Dream state is not intrinsically sorrowful, neither is it intrinsically joyful. Okay? And so this is something which is very important to understand. So, na tatra anandaha mudaf pramudo bhavanti. Atha anandan mudaf pramudah srijate. So this is something which is so beautiful. Na tatra anandaha. In the dream state, there is, there is no ananda. There is no ananda, meaning there is no joy in the dream state. Otherwise, you won't have nightmares. So that means the joy is not intrinsic to the dream state at all. Na tatra anandaha. And mudaha pramudaha means, and we'll see the bhashya next time. Very beautiful bhashya for this verse. Mudaha pramudaha means there is the various gradations of ananda. So ishtavastu darshanat mudaha. Tikakara says, Ishtavastu darshanat mudaha. Mudaha means a kind of a small joy. Ishad hasanam, a tiny little smile comes on the face. When somebody walks in with a big cake. Oh, very nice. Lovely cake. And then that person assures you next that this is just yours, this is for you. Oh, really? And the smile grows wider naturally. Oh, so cake is there and cake is wonderful to look at, but then the fact that this cake is for me, OMG, and that is called Pramudaha. Pramudaha means it's a greater quality of joy, knowing that this is for me. And then when and that you get to experience it. So this is all from the Taittiriya Upanishad. Priya, Moda, Pramoda, 3 gradations of happiness. And so this is Moda and Pramoda are taken up here. And then so these 2 gradations of happiness, and that which backs up these 2 gradations of happiness, Ananda, Swarupananda, is there. And this there is Ananda there. How is there Ananda? Because it is not there, you create the Ananda. First, you create pleasurable objects of experience, and then you create the pleasure also. Various gradations of joy are created, and then you have the most satisfying dream. Most satisfying dream. And then, let's see what else. See, then there is verse number 12, which is out of which many things are taken from what we have studied. Pranena rakshan avaram kulayam bahishkulayad amritah charitva sa iyate amritah yatra kamam hiranmayah purushah ekahamsah. Beautiful mantra. Mantra number 12. Brihadaranyaka Upanishad 4.3.12. So Pranena Rakshan, it is pointing out how Ishvara's law makes it sure that the body is protected even when the mind and senses are withdrawn from it. And so the mind is in a causal state, but awake enough to kind of protect the body. And it is there protected by the pranic activity, the respiration. So where does the mind go? It has withdrawn itself. The subtle body, the mind, has withdrawn itself to the dream state. And then, so the prana is the security system for the body to not become, what is that called, dog food or a ghost. And so the body is avara, means inferior to the mind, meaning it is gross. The body is gross, and then it is the mind is subtle, and so therefore the body is protected. The mind is free to move. The mind, as it were, jumps out of the body, and then what? And then you are not in contact with the demands of the body. You are not conditioned by the activities of the body. The body can be flailing, turning to one side, then turning to another. You are not bothered about that at all. You don't light up those activities of the body. And that means the mind is acting independently. Moving out from the body is what is the Amritam means the mind blessed by the Atma is Amrita, is as it were immortal. And then it creates a mental world, manufacturing objects and enjoying the objects that you can never ever have in your waking life. Or you have, but you cannot get enough of. So you dream that again and again and again. So in a way, the dream state fulfills fulfills the desires. So fulfills the desires, and in a kind of certain exhaust certain papa and certain punya also. More we shall see next week. ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्तिः 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 हरिः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ॐ थैंक यू